COVID stuff since the beginning, and he wrote a piece called Why You Should Wait Out the Wild Housing Market. Now, I don't know if Mark Gellman from the Gellman team is going to agree with that, but we are going to talk about some of the crazy things that are happening in the market. Gellman, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, but it seems like as every week passes, this tight supply is not going to change anytime soon. So I know that Fred sent you that piece. You're a realtor, so you're probably not going to give this advice, but I think Thompson's point, citing some other experts, is this is so crazy right now, maybe it's best to sit it out for a while.
Yeah, and as I said, and so I was interviewed yesterday about this same idea. And here's the thing. First off, people have to understand, and I'm very transparent, your home, a person's home, is not an investment. If you're looking for an investment, you should buy multifamily, which is way overpriced right now, but it's income producing. Here's the thing. The values are the values today, and a home has never truly been an investment unless, for example, you bought it over the last 3 years and you've seen the appreciation,
right,
but you'd have to monetize it at this point. Here's the thing. I'm not sure what to wait for, and the reason is it is a supply and demand issue. And right now there is 5 to 9 buyers for almost every home. And so what's happened is we're seeing multiple offers, we're seeing over asking, et cetera, but that is creating what the new market is. The thing about it is I'm not sure what he's suggesting, and I didn't really understand what he's suggesting people wait for. Interest rates go up to 5, which is still incredibly low. It may knock a couple people out, but I don't see that knocking out the entire market. There is only there is less than 2 weeks of inventory. 2008, there was over 13 months of inventory, which is a severe buyer's market. What that means is that if every home sold, it would take 13 months to liquidate all inventory. Today, many markets less than a week of inventory, that if no new homes came on, there would be no new homes in that market.
All. Right. Yeah. Well, so he pointed out, you look at what's going on right now. Home prices, record high. Inventory, record low. Percentage of homes selling above asking price, record high. Average time on the market, record low. And I think overall, and I've seen other experts weigh in, Mark and I have talked about this too, that this is not going to change for a while, right? There are no signs that this inventory is going to all of a sudden dramatically reappear. And there are several reasons for that, right?
Absolutely. So, and just to validate, first of all, he was talking a lot about the coast, but clearly the exact same dynamics he was discussing is happening in St. Louis. Let me just give you a quick stat for St. Louis County. The median price in the last 30 days, so if we look at essentially May closings this year versus May closings last year,
right,
in St. Louis County, the median price between that period, 1 year over year, went up 23%. The average days on market are 6 days. Last year, by the way, it was still fast, 17 days, but obviously exponentially quicker. But within 30 days, if the home sells within the first 30 days, which is that time period, the average price was 104%. This year, 100 last year. So you're talking about people paying over asking in a market where prices are significantly increasing. So his pricing model was right on. So I do want to validate that. The question I'd ask him is, what is going to change? What is going to increase? They're not building more homes in many municipalities. Certainly in certain areas they're building. And by the way, there's not even enough building. The building rate is about 50% what it previously was because we went through the downturn. So that slowed everything down. They can't ramp up fast enough, plus with lumber prices, plus with supply, plus how they can't build them. For example, in Florida, one of your and I's mutual friends is building a home in Florida. That subdivision has actually put homes on hold, new construction, because they can't keep up. They also don't know what the pricing is. So that suppresses the inventory. So I'm not sure what's going to increase the inventory that would impact that.
Mark, what's your gut tell you? And again, there's a variety of reasons, but why this is so tight right now? Because obviously some people don't know the status of their jobs and they don't feel comfortable there. But what's driving this right now?
Sure. So interestingly enough, what we're seeing is we're seeing a huge dynamic. Going back to the interest rates that are still historically low, there certainly are people wanting to jump in on this bandwagon. We are also seeing moving in and out of St. Louis. What happened over the last year, people want to be closer to their family, and we're seeing people want to get out of apartment types.
Right.
People are scared about inflation. There's no doubt about it. We don't have to get into an economic discussion, but clearly people are looking at real estate as a hedge for future inflation, and that's really what's happening. Equally, though, I am seeing a significant amount of my clients wanting to monetize their homes. They're renting, have second homes or other, and they're living there. But we are seeing, so it's a very confusing market right now. The one thing that's jamming this market up most, though, is we have great sellers that would have unbelievable houses to sell. But you know what their problem is? The same thing you had about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, right?
They didn't know where they were going to go.
Yeah.
So they can sell, they can get multiple offers, but then what do we do? And so that's what's jamming up the market very much right now.
Yeah, because I even have, not to name names, but some people that I've worked with who have become empty nesters, for example, and they're ready to downsize. They look at the market, they're like, man, we this is the time to sell right now. And I know that husbands and wives are having that discussion. But to your point, then what do you do?
Absolutely. And, now if you're downsizing, it could be a great opportunity. Sell your home at the peak. You're going to overpay, not overpay. You're going to pay over asking potentially on the downside, but you're still ahead of the game. For our clients that are upsizing, they're feeling the pain on the upsize, although they're benefiting on the sale. So again, it's a really tricky market right now, but the most important thing is this is a totally different market. And we were talking about this even last year, Mark. This is a totally different market than 2008, where there was a 13 months inventory. People did not have equity. There was these, income stated loans. People's loans reduced, short-term balloons, and other. Totally different market. There were foreclosures, short sales. We're seeing even distressed sellers right now that have lost their jobs and other, which is a horrible situation, are able to get out of their homes, unlike 2008, because they actually still have equity. So there have been some very positives about this. And so, again, we feel good about it. And it's a tricky market is all I can say, but today's market is the market price, and that's really what happened.
I've seen some coverage recently. I even saw a story today about whisper listings, which would be in my house. You guys came to me because someone was poking around. My home was coming soon because there was flooding issues. We weren't sure if we were going to sell, and then all of a sudden we sold and we had to shift into gear. But when they say whisper listings, is that some of the stuff that's happening before homes are actually officially on the MLS?
There is. And now, just to be very clear, I will tell you that, there's been a lot of challenges in the real estate community where people are signing up listings. It's in a coming soon mode where no showings are allowed. And then what's happening is, and it's created a huge amount of disappointment where somebody has written an incredible offer. The sellers who really aren't as invested in following all the, protocol as the agent is going to take that offer. So actually the MLS St. Louis, just the entire MLS is no longer allowing showings and starting in about 2 weeks, no longer allowing showings in a coming soon mode. So it's going to change things a little bit to even the playing field because there's been some huge disadvantages that are occurring. But there's a whole sub-market happening. People are door knocking, reaching out. So there's a lot of unique things.
But so who makes, how did you come to a determination for the market to not have showings during coming soon? Who makes that determination?
Sure. So National Association Realtors last year did a clear cooperation because they were very concerned about this whole pocket listing world and, the whisper and all that. So, and they really felt like, and it's an interesting thing because they felt like it actually was doing a disservice to sellers, which, it's possibly, look, we used to sell homes 2 years ago, many cases in a coming soon mode, but now we're actually putting them on the market because we want the market to really compete for homes. So we took a little different approach there. We wouldn't allow these early showings in the last year, which a lot of agents were allowing. It was just a different philosophy because we really saw some crazy benefits. I mean, Mark, we're selling homes. We just sold a home $137,000 over asking. It was $699 it sold, and our client would have been thrilled at $699. Sold $137,000 over asking. There were 10 offers, and the one that wrote $125 over asking called and said, "How did we possibly lose that?" I said, "You would not believe." But and it closed. It closed in the MLS. But we're seeing some crazy prices. But what it tells you is these are the prices. We're hearing from clients they don't want to overpay. It's not overpaying because if that's what the market is,
that's what the market is demanding, right?
Absolutely. I'm looking at the stock exchange right now. I'm looking at the tickers, and those are the true prices today. Now, they could go up, those stocks. They could go down. But today, that's what
that is the price. Mark, I got to run to another segment. This is great information, and it is a wild and wacky real estate market. Mark Gellman with his brother at the Gellman team. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mark.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.